We do hope open debate with a broad participation of member states will provide an opportunity to discuss ways to address risks to international peace and security stemming from violations of the agreements and multilateral understandings with regard to regulating export of weapons and military equipment. We expect participants to consider the negative consequences of non-compliance by member states with their obligations in arms and ammunition transfers and identify ways to improve mechanisms for controlling exports of weapons and military equipment. Just for your information, we do not intend to focus the discussion on some specific country or regional context, but rather discuss the issue from an arms control perspective. On the first question, we hear these comments, of course. Some countries are pretending they can decide at their own will who they want or do not want to be in the chair of the presidency of the Security Council. As long as the current world order with the UN and the Security Council stands, there will be no change in the rules of procedure. And the order presidency of the president is well defined, and it's not for them to change it. I heard also comments on that Russia should be a honest broker in the presidency of the Security Council. I think that nobody could reproach us that we were not one when we were in the presidency, which can easily be checked. Unlike some countries who come up with such claims, who are not always honest brokers. I'm not even talking about the comment of the US PR, whose presidency in the Security Council, and I recognize it when they was professional, but some of their predecessors, I would say, didn't do likewise, and they played with the rules and procedures of the Security Council and basically trampled the Council's rules and procedures. I also heard comments from an outstanding and chief European diplomat, Josep Borrell, who recently distinguished himself with comments that and statements that made him a truly international star, invoking the 1st of April Fool's Day. To that I will not comment much. I will only ask a rhetorical question. Who's talking?
Rule 20 says during the consideration of a particular question with which the member he represents is directly connected, he shall indicate his decision to the Council to recuse yourself, basically, if that particular issue is something that you're directly involved in. And it's up to you as the President to decide that. So if the issue of Ukraine comes up this month, there's the provision for you then to hand the presidency for that subject over to Switzerland.
No. No.
Why not?
If you put the question this way, then I think a few other countries that are on the Security Council should also withdraw from that discussion, and namely 3 members of the P5 who are directly involved in the situation which you are alluding to. Secondly, I would like to remind that in 2003, both UK and US were presidents of the Security Council in September and October consecutively. Nobody raised the question of their legitimacy to hold the presidency, and nobody put on the table the question that they withdraw from discussing issues, an issue that was perhaps the most hot and topical then.
The U.S. ambassador told us this morning that she expects the Russian presidency to be professional, but she also said that the U.S. expects Russia to be spreading disinformation about Ukraine. Could you respond to that? Thank you.
I would agree with the first part of that statement. I think Linda was correct, and I hope that was not that was not a question, but a statement that she expects us to act professionally as presidency of the Security Council, which she had a chance to get assured when we were presidents last time, and that was her first presidency with us in the seat of the chair of the Security Council. So I will not disappoint you on that. On the second part, that we are spreading will be spreading, using the presidency to spread disinformation about Ukraine. That's a statement that is in vein of the Western narrative that Russia is doing nothing but spreading disinformation about Ukraine. In fact, we think just the opposite. And one of the disinformation that the Western media and Western officials are spreading is the situation of Ukrainian children who were allegedly kidnapped from Ukraine and brought to Russia against their will. And this is just one aspect. But the area formula meeting, which I hope you will follow, is intended to dispel this narrative and the so-called Russian disinformation on that issue. There are many others, of course, but I will not stop here to cite all of them.